poor baby's life. And like, I don't know, it's so uncomfortable for me because I never wanted that to happen, ever. And I wanted, if anything, I wanted it to work. Like, I wanted to have it with him, and I wanted him to change, and I wanted him to step up.
In the second part of the podcast, things went from bad to straight up unhinged. McKinley stopped holding back and started unpacking everything that went down behind the scenes with Jack, and honestly, it was bad. One of the craziest parts she mentioned was the fake wedding he staged for content. While she was literally in a wedding dress, Jack was cracking cheating jokes, calling her his blunt roller and treating her like crap. Man was playing house for clout.
Every day, that was something actually that he told me that I needed to learn how to do, is roll a blunt. When I didn't add any value to anything, he actually called me the blunt roller. But I felt like, I don't know. I just kind of learned. I taught myself how to roll one, and from that day forward, that's what my job was to roll him an X amount of blunts. So he calls me. We're literally 20 minutes late to
that same night, he told her to roll him up a blunt even though she wasn't feeling well. When she said no, instead of being a normal human, he lost it. He called her lazy, useless, and told her to
and I was like, Jack, I'm starving. Like, please. He's fully capable of doing this, by the way. Like, he's able to do it as well. I was like, I'm just like, I don't want to do that right now. My head hurts. I'm starving. My food is down there. They're waiting for me. They already ate all their food. They're actually sitting at a table with my plate. I just wanted to get downstairs. And he was like, you know what? I don't give a fuck. You go down there. I don't give a fuck. Whatever. You do what you want to do. You're lazy as fuck. You're useless. You do nothing to help me in life. Go fuck yourself. And I was like, Jack, like, okay, I'll roll you one. Like, I'll do it. Like, I'll do it right now. And he's like, no, whatever. Just fuck off. Go. He's like, I don't give a fuck.
Then when they got into the elevator, he looked her dead in the eye and said, this is why I'd never marry you. She snapped back, saying, then I wouldn't marry you either. And that's when he went off the rails. Bro, after a whole fake wedding, you can't make this up.
This is why I would never marry you. And my heart broke. I was like, well, I would never marry you if you just said that. Because why would I marry someone that says, I would never marry you? I was like, I would never marry.
Once they got back to the hotel, Jack started screaming at her, face red, saying all kinds of degrading things until she was done.
And what made him act that way? But he was screaming at me, bloody murder. Like, when I tell you his face was red, neck veins bulging out of his fucking neck, telling me.
You've never seen this before?
Never before, never. And mind you, like, this is the same person that would be like, I can't even imagine yelling at you. I can't imagine having any issues with you and fighting with you or anything. So, as he's saying these things to me, the most degrading and most disgusting, vile things you could possibly say to someone, especially your girlfriend, I was just taking everything. I wasn't even retaliating or saying anything back. He was just going and calling me all types of names, like a whore, and saying he should have never given me a chance because I've ruined.
She tried to walk away, but he grabbed her arms, pulled her onto his lap, and refused to let her leave. That's when someone heard the yelling and called security. When security came, they separated them. Security. That's how bad it got. And somehow, after all that, she still forgave him.
Face, sticking his finger in my face this close and saying, you fucking stupid fucking whore. And I looked at him and I was like, we're done. Like, I'm done. And I got up, I started walking, and that's when he put his hands on me. For the first time ever, it had escalated not only to emotional and mental abuse that he's put me through, he was grabbing onto me, not letting me leave the room. He grabbed me by my arms, he sat me down on the bed, made me sit on his lap. I was trying to get away from him. I was like, get away from me. Like, you just said this to me, and now you're saying, baby, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. Like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? I'm like,
For a little while, things seemed calmer between them, but the peace didn't last. During Christmas, McKinley said she started feeling sick and got exhausted, but ignored it, thinking it was her thyroid issues acting up since she had the Graves' disease and no thyroid gland. She hadn't taken her medication in months, replacing it with Adderall.
A bunch of videos. I'm starting to feel not right. I felt like something was wrong with, me physically. I was health-wise. Yes, I was very, very tired. I was just, my head was hurting. I felt irritated. I felt something was off with me. I knew it. I knew something was off. And I actually have health problems. I have hyperthyroidism and Graves' disease, which is an autoimmune disorder, and it affects my metabolism. I had to go through radioactive iodine treatment when I was younger, so I don't have a thyroid gland, so I take medication to mimic that thyroid gland. It's something that I need in order to survive. And throughout this entire thing, I never went to the doctor. I didn't take my medicine. I replaced that medicine with Adderall, and I was so unhealthy. I look back at pictures and I'm just like, wow, like you can see it in my face. Like it makes your face really puffy. It also does.
Eventually, she took a pregnancy test and it came back positive twice. She said she felt terrified, not happy, especially given how unstable things were with Jack. When she told him, he wasn't shocked or emotional. He was excited about how much money they can make from a family YouTube channel. Yeah, not we're having a baby, not are you okay, just dollar signs and thumbnails flashing in his head.
I ordered the pregnancy test. I took it. And I set it aside. I'm like, you know what? I don't think this is why I feel this way. I'm really hoping it's not. I wasn't expecting anything, and it was positive. And in that moment, I realized, like, wow, like, not only, I wasn't preparing myself for this, but with where we're at in our relationship and how I feel and like how he treats me, like that's all that came to my mind.
McKinley told him she didn't want to do only anymore, raise a child around drugs and chaos, but Jack brushed it off, saying they'd make even more money when she was pregnant.
I need to talk to you. And I told him, and he didn't seem surprised whatsoever. He was like, W. He literally was excited over the fact that we were going to make the most money we have ever made in our lives. It wasn't because he was excited to have a baby with me and have a family and start a new era of our life. It was, oh my gosh, we're going to start a family YouTube channel and you're going to make so much money when you're pregnant and you have a pregnant belly. And I remember looking at him and I was like, Jack, you do not realize if this is happening, I'm done. I'm not doing OnlyFans. I'm not doing that. And I don't want to be on social media, and we need to change our lives. Like here we are, we're living in this house. There's drugs, there's random people coming into our house all the time. It's not safe. What he does for a living, like he streams, he's always in chaos. I was like, there needs to be some sort of lifestyle change. Like, I don't know if you're ready for that. And he was like, it doesn't have to be a lifestyle change. Like
the next day, he went clubbing, made cheating jokes, and even blew smoke on her face while she sat beside him in the car. She said she realized then that he wasn't ready for fatherhood. And honestly, that decision probably saved her peace because the man was already spiraling.
Making jokes about how he wanted to cheat on me, and now that I'm pregnant and can't do anything, that this is his time to get another bitch pregnant. That way he can keep me and keep her and just have me be there because no one would fuck with me if I had Jack Doherty's baby. That's what he would say to me. So while he's saying these things to me and I'm already, going through how I feel about the situation already, I'm like, this is a horrible situation to be in. He's trapping me. He's literally to my face telling me that as soon as I have a baby, he's going to move on from me and try to have a baby with somebody else, and I'm just there. So again, I don't want to believe this. I know he's making these jokes, but there's truth to all of his jokes. He ends up going to the club, and I went with him. That poor baby's life. And I don't know, it's so uncomfortable for me because I never wanted that to happen, ever. And I wanted, if anything, I wanted it to work. I wanted to have it with him. And I wanted him to change, and I wanted him to step up. And it just, nothing. And even me finding out, it was still him fighting with me and degrading me. And I just, it was the best decision for me, I felt like. And, I still think, to this day about it. And it's a really hard situation. Thank you.
McKinley eventually told her parents, who urged her to come home. Jack didn't join her. He went skiing in Utah instead, acting like nothing was wrong. That was the moment she said it truly hit her that she'd be raising a baby alone while he chased content in Clout.
Telling my parents, they were like, please come home. We need to go to the doctor. I told him that I was going home and I would really love for him to come with me, but he ended up booking a trip to Utah and skiing and, planning that trip with you and you guys. And the saddest part is that nobody knew what was going on.
After thinking it through, McKinley decided not to have the baby. She said she didn't want to bring a child into that kind of environment, especially knowing Jack would try to turn it into content and profit from it.
It wouldn't be a good situation if I'm dealing with all this stuff and like how I feel. I couldn't imagine bringing a child into the mix. And I knew, the only thing he cared about was money and content. And I knew if we had a child, it would be the same exact thing. I knew that child would be exploited. I knew that it would be around things that I wouldn't want my child to be around. It just didn't line up.
They kept fighting every now and then. There wasn't a single stretch of peace between them. While McKinley was getting her hair done, Jack decided it was the perfect time to hit the club and raise up some girls. He wasn't joking either. He literally streamed himself flirting while she sat in the salon watching it unfold.
Took advantage of that day that I was there and said, well, now that you are at a hair appointment, I'm going to go to the club because now I can raise up some bitches.
Where's the just kidding?
He wasn't kidding. He did that the entire time I was there. I was like watching it.
Is there clips of that?
Yeah.
Oh, McKinley's calling me. Hello?
But I went to get my hair done this day, and he went to the club.
When she later went out for food with her friend Michelle, he completely lost it, blowing up her phone with jealous texts despite the fact that he was literally at a club cheating on her.
They asked me if I wanted to go get some food. We end up going to like this outdoor like bar / grill type of thing. We had a few drinks. I ordered food, and Jack is just nonstop texting me. Like, I want to read it. So I told him, I said, we're getting drinks at Marina Village. He said, L. He said, why are you going to a bar without me during spring break? Like, what the fuck? And mind you, he is literally at he is at a club talking to girls actively during spring break. And I said, I promise this isn't a bar. I'm just with.
The next morning, he started calling her lazy and useless for waking up at 10 instead of 8, as if that was a crime against humanity. Things escalated fast. He went from trash talking her work ethic to calling her disgusting names.
Do you see what time it is?
You make my life harder, I'm sorry. It's like I have to carry you through life, and it's like you're my girlfriend. I have things I have to do every day. So you're supposed to help me through it. You used to be so helpful with it. You should make your own videos all day long, and I was able to do my own thing, help everyone else with their stuff. I have to just help me and you now. It's a me and you game now. It's a full-time job.
I want to do that though.
So why don't you do it? Like what's stopping you? I get my shit done every day. I post every day. I stream every day. I can't rely on you guys every day. That's why I do my own thing.
And
No good morning?
no good morning.
Oh, okay.
No, it was, do you see what time it is? And
He even went as far as spitting in her face and shoved her into a wall hard enough to leave a bruise.
he was like, I should have never given you a fucking chance. And I'm brushing my teeth. I'm crying. There are tears coming down my face. And he comes right here and he's like, you're a stupid fucking whore, you fucking whore, and he's spitting on me. He literally, I could feel the fucking spit come off of his mouth because of how close he was to my face, screaming in my ear. And he pushes me as hard as he can into the wall. And I caught myself in my arm, which I have a picture of the bruise from the day after. He pushes me and I caught myself, and he told me, he was like, oh, you flopped. He's like, stop flopping.
Then he gaslit her, saying she flopped. She tried to leave, but he followed her outside, saying he was trying not to punch her in the face. Fists clenched and face red. At that point, she realized it wasn't just emotional abuse anymore, it was dangerous. McKinley called her parents crying, told them she was done, and finally started planning to get out of that nightmare for good.
Punch you in the fucking stupid face. And he's grabbing his fist, he's red as fuck, It was not the normal Jack I was so used to. It was so like completely different, and I was terrified in that moment. I was so scared. I didn't know if he was about to beat the shit out of me. We had guns. He would always make jokes and say like, should we just ourselves? Like, I'll just you, I'll me, like just ourselves. I didn't know. He was so enraged. I didn't know what he was capable of, so I just knew I needed to leave the situation.
Eventually, McKinley texted Camila Araujo for help because she didn't even feel safe going back to grab her stuff. According to her, Jack had threatened her after the breakup and even changed her passwords to lock her out of her own accounts. He basically held her digital life hostage. She had to call the cops just to make sure she could go back without getting cornered.
That was like, okay, he's trying to take my account from me.
Well, exactly. Like,
right.
In the moment, I think I was there for that. Like,
yeah.
When we were having a conversation about, I don't even know. I was like, well, what are you going to do with your fans?
Yeah.
And she was like, well, let me look. And then the second she pulled out her phone, her passwords wouldn't work.
I couldn't log in.
Naturally, we both panicked and we're like, fuck, what do we do?
Yeah.
So we immediately switched all the passwords, like immediate. Like, I don't even think there was like a 5-minute period. Like,
it wasn't.
We completely changed the email associated, the bank, the passwords. And obviously, because in her mind, it was like, I'm fucked. Like,
yeah.
Everything in the balance is going to be gone if I don't go and switch it. So then this is where everything really started.
He said, I changed your OnlyFans password on both your accounts, just so you know.
There's a tape that leaked, and basically it's police footage of you and Jack Doherty's girlfriend.
Oh, the body cam footage. Yeah. I'm waiting for her to be ready to tell her story. It has nothing to do with me.
Okay.
When she showed up with the police, it didn't exactly go smoothly. She said he started yelling, tried to take her phone, and even pushed her in front of the officers.
Because you're not answering me. Because you're not fucking answering me. Like, you're I can't even like Yes, you wouldn't answer me. You called the cops before you fucking talked to your boyfriend? Are you kidding me? How the fuck are you doing that? That's it, bro. That's all I did. I don't know. Yeah, but I did. I just wanted to talk to you. That's it. Then just talk to me. You wouldn't answer me, bro. Are you fucking kidding me?
Like, he obviously sees the cops. He's like,
there's reportedly footage of that because, in true Jack Doherty fashion, he later leaked clips of the police encounter himself for attention. Like, imagine causing a whole scene bad enough for the cops to get involved and then turning it into content.
But you know, I did it, and I was like, I just would like an escort. I want you guys to be there on standby in case anything happens, and so it can go smoothly. Also, I wanted to mention he had my social security number, birth certificate, passport, all in a safe. And I didn't know the password to the safe, and he had a camera towards the safe. So I felt like I had so much stuff I needed to get from the house that were so important. And there was no possible way I could have been able to get that on my own. There's no way. So the police get there. Obviously,
and that's when you guys see the body cam footage.
The body cam footage, which was,
I do want to say, like,
Young, remind me that I still have your driver's license, okay, hon?
For real, McKinley? Yo, who is this though? I need to know.
What's up, man? How are you?
Because you're not fucking answering me. Yes, you usually wouldn't answer me. You called the cops before you fucking talked to your boyfriend? Are you kidding me? Like, how the fuck are you doing that? That's it, bro. That's all I did.
I don't know.
Yeah, but I did. I just wanted to talk to you. That's it.
Then just talk.
So you wouldn't answer me, bro. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, what? You called the cops.
McKinley, slow down so I can be with you.
You gotta get out of my house. I didn't say you can come
She's letting us in.
She doesn't own this house. I didn't say you can come in my house.
Her address
I
is
don't
on
care.
here. She's a resident here.
I don't care. You guys aren't allowed in my house.
We're not here to have a hard
You guys
time.
aren't allowed in my house. I'm sorry.
She lives here.
Who gave you?
She did.
She doesn't own this house. Just because she doesn't mean she gave you permission to.
Stop acting like this.
Bro, you called the cops on me in my own fucking house after I've done everything for you.
You threatened me, Jack.
I didn't threaten you, bro. Bro, how did I threaten?
Post breakup, he apparently kept posting about her, accusing her of ruining his life. Which is crazy because from her side of things, he's the one who made hers a mess. She said he even tried to sue people who helped her after she left and lost.
To be my girlfriend in general. So there's no fucking 1-year-old trillionaire. No, I'm kidding. None of that matters. It has nothing to do with money. It's like the fact that no other bitch gets to live this life that she has. All she has to do is be grateful, positive, and appreciative. And that's all I fucking ask of her. She spends more of her days being ungrateful, miserable, and fucking just in bed, bro. She sleeps all fucking day, dog. And how does she expect her life to get better? Exactly. It's like there's no other guy in the world that's gonna fucking treat her better than me. Because we didn't fight for 2 years. Our biggest fights ever were in the past 2 weeks. It's like that's normal. And now she's crashing out, breaking up with me, calling the cops. Like fuck that. Like I don't need to be with a girl. I never wanted to be in a relationship to begin with, bro. This bitch is ignoring me while she's changing her OnlyFans passwords to steal $500,000 a month. Like the.
And the sad thing is, he wasn't upset that I left because he loves me, but he was just he was angry at.
Right after going live and trashing McKinley publicly, Jack started love bombing her over text, doing a full 180 like nothing happened. He spammed her with desperate messages about how much he loved her and couldn't live without her, then flipped again once she picked up his call. He went from apologetic to demanding her OnlyFans password, accusing her of using him when she refused. When she hung up, he tried guilt-tripping her with dramatic threats about hurting himself.
You know that. I just want to hug you again. I'm so sad right now. I feel like you never loved me. I just want to be with you again, McKinley. I plan on spending the rest of my life with you. I don't want to be with anyone else. I just wish you talked to me today so none of this happened. Can you please just say something? Please talk to me. I can't go to sleep without speaking to you at least one more time. Please just talk to me. I love you. And the reason I got so mad because I feel so fucking helpless, McKinley. I can't even talk to my own girlfriend no matter how hard I try. It's the worst feeling ever. I can't stop thinking about you and it's making me go insane. Just please call me. I can't sleep until you do.
For example, would you want your daughter doing that?
Probably not, no.
So then how could the mother of your daughter, you wouldn't be proud of the fact that your wife was doing that because then your daughter's going to do that.
Jack Doherty finally ran into someone who didn't just smile and nod. Someone who didn't care about his cars, his clout, or how many girls he signed to OnlyFans contracts. And it happened live with cameras rolling and 0 edit buttons.
They love Clout, like they love this
But why
shit.
don't you be the guy that teaches them that that's not what happiness is about?
For once, Jack wasn't in control of the narrative, and the result was uncomfortable, raw, and long overdue. George Janko. Before the collapse, you have to look at what Jack Doherty has actually built. He didn't make his money through innovation and talent. He made it by turning women into products. His operation was simple. Scout women, help them grow online, lock them into contracts, and take a piece of whatever they earn through platforms like OnlyFans. And for some of them, that wasn't just side income, it was life-changing money. But Jack always made sure the funnel led back to him. He didn't downplay it. He marketed it as a success. The way he talked about it, he wasn't just managing creators, he was saving them from failure. He took credit for their rise and positioned himself as the one who made it all possible. But what he rarely acknowledged was the power imbalance he built the entire model on. This wasn't a hands-off business. Jack involved himself in their personal lives, their mental health, their image. In interviews, he admitted that his emotional state depended on theirs. If they were upset, distracted, or wanted out, it threw everything off. He wasn't just collecting a cut, he was emotionally invested in their output. That's not structure, that's ownership. And when your day-to-day depends on managing people like that, it's not a business, it's a system built on pressure where personal boundaries blur into performance. Jack was the centerpiece of it all, and as long as he stayed in control, he could keep telling himself it was smart, not manipulative. So when Jack sat down for what looked like another casual podcast, he thought it would be more the same. Run through the hits, drop some numbers, flex the lifestyle, but George wasn't there to nod along. He asked questions, calm, clear, and the kind that Jack never gets asked by his usual audience.
For example, would you want your daughter doing that?
Probably not, no.
So then how could the mother of your daughter, for example, your father set a good example for you. You modeled after your father. He went from building roofs after roofs, putting a roof above your head. And now, God willing, whatever the relationship between you guys happen, it's in God's will. But like, say you marry her, you wouldn't be proud of the fact that your wife was doing that, because then your daughter's going to do that. So if you don't want your daughter to do that,
Unless you make enough money to where your daughter doesn't have to do that. I mean, that's the whole goal with all this. Is so.
yeah, but my guy, you have 35 doors. Your daughter didn't need to do that before she left your nutsack, dude. Like, you know what I mean?
She doesn't. She won't. She'll never. My daughter will never do that. Like,
That's what I'm saying. So don't let her mother do that.
The tone shifted when Jack brought up belief, asking Jack if he believed in anything beyond himself. Jack, thinking it was easy to answer, said he believed in God. That's when the question stopped being softballs.
So if you really believed in God, do you think that he's going to bless you with a peaceful heart when you're moving in this direction? Because you have everything to give you a peaceful heart. You have all the money, you have all the power, you have all the directions. You could literally point your finger at any point of the world and go, and probably conquer it. But do you think God will let you go with peace? Because you're collecting money from girls that are doing things that you know you wouldn't let your daughter do. So why would you think that your father, who also is their father, why do you think he would bless you if you're continuing to do this? You already have enough. You already have enough that you can say, hey guys, you know what? Let's scratch the contract. You guys go do what you guys need to do. If you want to continue or you don't continue. But these are blood money, and I don't want my hands to be a part of it anymore.
That wasn't an attack. It was a mirror. And Jack didn't know how to respond. He tried to brush it off, relying on his usual fallback, that it was their decision, that they loved the money. But George didn't let it go. He asked if Jack would marry someone who did what these women do. Jack hesitated, tried to ride the fence, said maybe that it depends. Jack's language around the women he worked with always sounded transactional. He'd refer to growing their platforms like launching a brand. He made it seem clean, organized, and professional. But the deeper truth was messier. He chose who to support, who to feature, who to elevate, and once these contracts were signed, he had control. Even when relationships ended, the revenue stayed connected. Jack continued to collect. He kept the back-end access. The deals didn't expire when the romance did. He stayed tied to people who were trying to move on. Again, that's not business, it's simply control. The worst part was how normal he made it sound. He could talk about helping a girl he dated make millions and still speak about her like a product he launched. The kind of thinking doesn't come from a place of care. It comes from seeing people as assets, and the more you normalize that, the harder it becomes to tell the difference between support and manipulation. OnlyFans management wasn't the end of the story. Jack's entire brand thrived on going viral, even if it meant crossing the line. Whether it was kissing the Island Boys on camera or linking up with controversial creators for quick headlines, he always had a reason. He'd explain it as part of a strategy, a calculated move to grow visibility, to bring in more money. And the truth, it worked. But just because something pays doesn't mean it's sustainable. Jack admitted that one stunt alone made him millions. He said it with pride, not discomfort.
That with the Island Boys?
I kissed him. That gay money was good. Like, fuck.
That wasn't irony. That was the business model. So when George calmly asked why he kept going if he already had enough, it wasn't a jab, it was a lifeline. Jack could have stepped back for a second, acknowledged that maybe he didn't need to keep squeezing controversy for content. Instead, he laughed. He called the idea of letting go too emotional, said setting them free sounded dramatic. He brushed it off like George was being idealistic. But what he really did was confirm what everyone had started to suspect. This wasn't about opportunity anymore, it was about control. Letting go of the chaos meant letting go of the thing that made Jack feel untouchable. That was never going to happen. Not because he couldn't afford to, but because he didn't know who he was without it. George saw that. Jack laughed it off. That laugh was the tell. He wasn't laughing because it was funny. He was laughing because it was the only move he had left. Jack's image didn't start cracking during the podcast. That was just when the world noticed. The damage started earlier with McKinley Richardson. When she spoke, it wasn't in a carefully worded post or a cryptic story. It was through police records and body cam footage. On March 24th, 2025, the exact day they broke up, she called law enforcement. There was no delay, no building drama, just a decision made fast because she said she didn't feel safe.
Bro, you called the cops on me in my own house after I've done everything for you. I didn't threaten you, bro.
She didn't say it in private. She said it to his face with officers present. That clip didn't trend because it was shocking. It trended because it was real, and Jack had spent years hiding behind a version of himself that couldn't handle reality. McKinley didn't leave him quietly. She coordinated the exit. She made sure officers were present. She told them there were firearms in the house, registered to her, and made it clear she wouldn't step back in alone. She said Jack had gotten physical the night before and a friend backed her up to the police. This wasn't speculation. These were statements made on the record. And how did Jack respond? Not by keeping quiet or cooperating. He hit a live stream. He said she planned it all, that she used him, that she staged the entire thing for clout. And when that didn't land, he called her unstable. He defaulted to a pattern, one that protected him in the past. Deflect, discredit, dismiss. Jack's relationship with Sam Frank followed the same formula, only this one went back even further. They grew up together, made videos as teens, then came the move to LA. The content, the relationships, the contracts, eventually they broke up. But the business side didn't. Jack still earns money from her work, still owns a piece of what they built together, still collects checks tied to someone he's no longer with. And when George asked why he hadn't let go of that money, Jack smiled, laughed again, brushed it off. To him, it was smart. To everyone else, it was another line crossed. Because keeping a financial hold on someone after the relationship ends isn't business, it's a power move. And the fact that he couldn't see the difference said everything. By the time Jack sat across from Adam 22, the descent was obvious. It was a matchup between two men who had turned controversy into income streams. They joked about managing women, about blurred boundaries, about things that should have been red flags, but were treated like punchlines. Jack didn't push back, he joined in. By then, his entire brand had turned into a string of reactions. Shock, deny, repeat, and it kept working. Until George didn't react like everyone else. George didn't cancel him. Jack did that himself.
Setting him free is crazy. Like, that sounds insane.
If I have
Setting
to
him free. Oh yes, here you guys go. I'm so sorry for holding you multi-millionaires captive, as if I'm such a bad person. They're not being held captive. They all love this shit.
I'm not saying you're holding them captive.
They're like, oh yes, like they love money. All these girls love money. They love clout. Like they love this.
But why
shit.
don't you be the guy that teaches them that that's not what happiness is about?
I don't know. You tell them that, bro. They love it. Like I'm telling you, like
I'm trying to tell their landlord.
Tell them, bro. Tell them to double their rent. Like
I feel like I hit a nerve. Is that
Jack could have said something, anything. He could have taken the moment seriously. Instead, he made a joke, said the idea sounded dramatic, smirked his way through it. But for once, the room wasn't laughing. That one question shattered the illusion, not because it was loud, but because it didn't need to be. Jack wasn't being canceled, he was revealing himself. In the part that made it all land, nobody interrupted him, nobody stopped him. He walked straight into the truth and acted like it was just another clip, but people listened. And when someone finally stopped playing along, everything else started to fall apart. George didn't need to go viral to make his point. He didn't need to yell, drag, or expose Jack. He just asked the one thing Jack couldn't answer without tearing down the whole act. And instead of reflecting, Jack laughed. Because that's all he's ever done when things get too real. He just finally ran out of places to hide. And for once, nobody let him change the subject.